1971 USA 1-cent coin d'Entiaro, the hidden treasure in your change. Hey everyone, welcome back to the coin's capital. If you've ever thought a penny is just worth 1 cent, think again. Today's video is all about the 1971 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin, a common coin with uncommon secrets. We'll explore its hidden history, designs, rare varieties, recent auction prices, and why some of these pennies could be worth thousands or even millions if the right one turns up. So grab your coin jars and let's dig into one of America's most overlooked treasures. Historical background. America in 1971 was a turning point in American history. The Vietnam War raged on and the U.S. economy was feeling pressure. In the world of money, President Richard Nixon had just taken the U.S. off the gold standard, which changed how money was viewed and used. Yet in your pocket, you still had the humble Lincoln penny, unchanged in design, but quietly playing its role in everyday life. The Lincoln cent had been circulating since 1909, and in 1971, it was in its 13th year featuring the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which replaced the classic wheat ears in 1959 for Lincoln's 150th birthday. Symbols and design. What the 1971 penny represents. The 1971 penny has symbols that go beyond face value. Obverse, front designed by Victor David Brenner, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln faces right. Above is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while to the left is Liberty, and to the right is the date, 1971. If you see a small d below the date, it was minted in Denver. No letter means it was made in Philadelphia. Reverse, back designed by Frank Gasparo. The Lincoln Memorial is proudly displayed. Look closely and you'll see Lincoln seated inside. Yes, that tiny detail is there. Above it says United States of America, under that, the motto, E pluribus unum, and on the bottom, 1 cent. These elements reflect unity, democracy, and national pride. Mintage process. How the 1971 penny was made. Let's take a peek behind the scenes. The 1971 penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. It was struck using high-speed presses that made over 4 billion coins that year. Here's the breakdown. Philadelphia Mint. No mint mark, over 1.9 billion coins. Denver Mint. D. Mint mark, over 2.9 billion coins. San Francisco Mint. S. Mint mark, about 3.2 million proof coins, only sold in collector sets. The coins were struck using dies under immense pressure, and with that many coins being made, errors were bound to happen, which is where things get interesting for collectors. Rarity and valuable varieties. What to look for now? Here's the fun part. Most 1971 pennies are worth face value, but some rare versions can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Here's what to hunt for. Double die obverse DDO, one of the most sought after errors. Look for clear doubling in God We Trust, Liberty, and the date. A strong DDO in mint condition can be worth $1,000 or more. Off-center strikes. These pennies look like they were struck partially off the coin's center. Depending on the percentage off and how visible the date is, they can sell for $50 to $200. Clip planchets. When a coin is accidentally cut incorrectly, it may have a curved bite out of it. These can fetch $25 to $100 plus. High-grade red pennies. A 1971 penny in brilliant red, untouched condition, MS66 or higher, can be worth $100 to $500 because very few exist in that state. Proof pennies. 1971 S. If you find a 1971 penny with a mirror-like finish and an S mint mark, it came from a proof set. If graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo, it could be worth $200 to over $1,000. Recent auctions. Real pennies, real money. Let's look at what some 1971 pennies have sold for at auction. A 1971 double die obverse graded MS65 red sold for $1,450. A 1971 S-proof penny graded PR70 deep cameo sold for $1,200. A 1971 D penny in MS67 red sold for $275. That's nearly 28,000 times its face value. An off-center strike from 1971 sold for $120. Depending on the misalignment. These are not rare flukes, people are finding them in rolls and old coin jars. Could a 1971 penny be worth millions? Let's talk dreams for a second. Could a 1971 penny ever be worth millions? Well, we've seen it happen with other coins. The 1943 copper penny, once thought impossible, now sells for over $1 million. The 1969 S double die penny fetched hundreds of thousands at auction. If a previously undiscovered 1971 mint error, such as the 1971 S double die proof or a coin struck on the wrong metal, is authenticated, it could absolutely hit 6 or 7 figures. So yes, a 1971 penny worth millions is possible, especially if it's hiding in plain sight. Value summary: what's your 1971 penny worth? Here's a quick chart to sum up the potential values. Coin type / condition: estimated value circulated, common, 1 cent, 3 cent uncirculated, MS60, MS65 $1, $25, MS66, MS67 red $75, $500 plus double die obverse DDO, $300, $1, 500 plus off centers / clipped planchet $25, $200 plus 1971 S proof, PR69, PR70 DCM, $100, $1,200 plus conclusion. Check your change. The 1971 Lincoln cent may seem ordinary, but it's a coin loaded with history, artistry, and hidden value. Whether it's an error variety, a pristine uncirculated piece, or a rare proof, you never know when a simple penny might be worth a fortune. So next time you see a 1971 penny, don't ignore it, examine it. Your next great find could be sitting quietly in your change. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new coin treasure story. And let us know in the comments, have you found a rare 1971 penny? We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting. 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin. Welcome back, coin collectors and enthusiasts. In today's video, we're going to be exploring a fascinating piece of Canadian numismatic history, the 1972 Canada 1 cent coin. Now, you may think of a penny as just loose change, but in the world of coin collecting, even the most common coins can carry surprising value. So stick around as we explore the value, rarity, and historical significance of the 1972 Canadian penny, and why this seemingly ordinary coin can sometimes fetch extraordinary prices in auctions. Historical background first. Let's take a look at the historical background of the 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin. The early 1970s were an interesting time in Canada. The country was going through significant political and economic changes. In 1972, Canada's Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau was in office and the country was experiencing growth, but also grappling with inflation and the global oil crisis. The economy was shifting, and coins like the 1972 1 cent were circulating daily, representing the strength and stability of the Canadian economy, at least until the inflation of the 1970s began to take its toll. The design of the 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin is an iconic one that will look familiar to many collectors. On the obverse, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II as designed by Arnold Machin. This particular design was used on Canadian coins from 1965 to 1989, so it's quite common on Canadian circulation coins of the era. Around the Queen's image, you'll see the inscriptions Elizabeth II, DG Regina, and the year 1972. Flipping the coin over, you'll find the maple leaf design that has become synonymous with Canada. The reverse shows a single maple leaf surrounded by the inscriptions Canada and 1 cent. The maple leaf has been an enduring symbol of Canada, representing strength, unity, and nature. This design was used on Canadian 1 cent coins from 1937 all the way through 2012. So it's a deeply familiar and beloved symbol to Canadians. Mintage figures. Now, let's dive into the mintage figures for the 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin, which is a key factor in determining its rarity and value. A total of 1.3 billion 1 cent coins were minted in Canada in 1972, a huge number, making the coin far from rare by mintage standards. However, that doesn't mean every 1972 penny is worth just 1 cent. Condition and specific features can make all the difference when it comes to coin values. Value and rarity for a typical circulated 1972 penny. You're looking at a coin that's worth its face value, just 1 cent. However, the value can increase depending on the condition of the coin. For example, if you have a well-preserved uncirculated 1972 penny, it could be worth anywhere from $1 to $3. This value is driven by the fact that uncirculated coins are less common and are more attractive to collectors due to their sharp details and minimal wear. Auction results. The real excitement starts when we look at coins that have been graded MS65 or higher. Mint state 65, MS65, is a high grade that denotes minimal imperfections in wear, and in these cases, a 1972 Canadian 1 cent could sell for $500 to $1,500. If you're lucky enough to find one in MS66 or MS67, with superior strike quality and crisp details, the coin could easily fetch $250 to $5,000 or even higher at auction. Error coins. One of the more exciting elements to look out for with the 1972 penny is whether it has varieties or errors. A die variety or die crack can make a coin more valuable to collectors. For instance, some 1972 pennies have die cracks that form along the edge or through the design due to issues with the minting dies. These errors can increase the value of the coin as they make it more unique and harder to find in circulation. A 1972 penny with a prominent die crack might fetch anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on the size and visibility of the error. Tips for collectors. Additionally, collectors also pay attention to double die varieties, where the design elements, especially the date or lettering, appear double due to a mistake in the die. While double die varieties are rare, finding one can result in a significant jump in value. A double die 1972 penny can be worth anywhere from $50 to $200, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. Worth millions. Now you may be wondering, is it possible for the 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin to be worth millions? While it's extremely unlikely that this particular coin would fetch millions of dollars like some of the ultra-rare coins out there, it's important to note that the value of coins fluctuates with demand. The 1972 penny is not likely to be worth millions, but it could be worth thousands if it has rare minting errors, a particularly high grade, or a double die variety. Coins like this don't always fetch top dollar, but they can surprise you, especially in the right market conditions. Let's look at some recent auction trends. In recent years, high-quality MS66 or MS67 examples of the 1972 1 cent coin have been known to sell for around $250 to $7,500. And those with die cracks or minor errors can often bring in $500 to $15,000 at auction. The proof version of the 1972 penny, which was minted in limited numbers for collectors, can also have some value. A 1972 proof penny might fetch between $500 to $5,000, but in higher grades, you might see prices approach $5,000 or more. To summarize, the 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin is a prime example of how condition and rarity play crucial roles in determining a coin's value. While it's not a rare coin in terms of mintage, finding one in uncirculated condition, with error varieties, or graded MS65 or higher, can significantly increase its value, making it a great addition to any collection. Conclusion. So, if you have a 1972 penny lying around, it might be time to take a closer look. It could just be hiding some value that you didn't expect. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting out, the 1972 Canadian penny is a great example of how even the most common coins can be a valuable find. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1972 Canadian 1 cent coin, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Have you ever found a 1972 penny that's worth more than its face value? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep searching for hidden treasures, stay curious, and happy collecting.